Here's an idea for making a grown-up friendship bracelet. So it started out, I made this bracelet using hemp cord. And you can see I just did square knots in between all of the beads on the outside working cords. And I thought to myself, you know, I love this idea, but I'd love to be able to put a real clasp on it, and I'd love for it to last a long time. So when you make things with beading wire, you can be sure that it's going to be more durable and make it something that's more long-lasting. So this bracelet is an example of the one that I made using silver beading wire. Now the way that you get started is cut 2 pieces of wire and fold them in half, thread them through a clasp, and then attach a big crimp bead. And this one is a size 2, and I put it over all of the strands of wire. Then what you do is just kind of snug it close to your clasp, and then use your crimping tool to crimp it. Now with crimping, you remember you always make it oval first using the outside jaws, and then squeeze it kind of gently to make a crease through the middle with the inside jaws, and then go back to the outside. So it's a 3-step process. So there I make it oval and then make it creased. You want to make sure that your wires are exiting parallel like that. If they get crossed inside, then it can be hard to fold that crimp bead over. Then turn this on its end and squeeze it in the outer jaws. And that's going to just give it a little bit of a rounder shape. All right, so whoops. And then you squeeze it together. You can see it's a little bit rounder. And then you can cover it with a crimp cover if you want to. Now that's a C-shaped bead that you just slide over the top of your crimp. And then use your outside jaws on the crimping tool to close it. And I like to do it this way so that I can see my edges really coming together without mushing it too much. Then I come over the top and just squeeze it together gently using those outside jaws on the pliers. Okay, so now you're ready to put this in your acrylic tying station, or you can fasten it to your workbench using a T-pin or anything, the way that you normally do macrame. So I like using the tying station because you can put this inside here. So you just place this on top and then put our foam piece on top of this to hold it in place. Bring this over and press this right on top, like this. So my clasp is just secure under here, and the foam is pressing it down. Then I'll put my washer and fasten this onto place. And then, you know, you can use your tying station to measure your piece as you go. And you'll want it to be, make sure that you accommodate the clasp that you're using when you are doing your measurement. So I'm just fastening this down as tight as it will go so I can be sure it's secure for when I'm working. Now my 2 short cords are going to go to the other end, and then I'm going to use my long cords to tie the knots. So I'll just place these under the end here and fasten this back down. So with the knotting cords, you want those to be about 8 times longer than the finished length of your bracelet. All right, for this particular bracelet. So now we're ready to start knotting. Make sure that your working strands are on the outside, and this is just like regular macrame. You're going to tie a square knot. So I'm just getting my strands to the outside. So it's one over the top with the other one up and through the loop. And then you'll just go in the opposite direction. You want this to be really tight. So make a loop over the top, bring it under everything and up through. And then you'll add a bead to each outside working cord. So I'm using rondelles with this. I love the idea of using a kind of a flat-shaped bead like this because it makes it take up less room in between your knots. So this is I'm using 49 strand wire for this, and the reason is because it's really soft and you get kind of that thread-like feel, but with the strength of stainless steel. So then I'll pull it tight, and then we can add another knot. And you'll just continue like this until you get to the end of your bracelet. So I'll show you one more knot here. Tie it, one over the top, and then one the other direction. Okay, so when you're ready so you continue knotting this, keeping it tight like this, all the way down your bracelet. You can see I have this one all set. So now what I'm going to do is remove this from the tool at both ends. And so one tip for this is to keep your clasp fastened so that you know you have the right side of the clasp. Now you're just going to do the same process with crimping, where you pass your wires through the clasp and back through the crimp bead and crimp it shut. And that's one quick and easy way to make a friendship bracelet.